Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. My name is Joe and this is the preview for Manchester United versus Omonia. Omonia at Old Trafford. We've been corrected on how I've been saying it, Jay. It's not Ammonia.
Not Ammonia.
It's Omonia.
Oh, Omonia. Someone sent me a thing like phonetically spelt, but I don't know.
See?
It's one of those mysteries.
All that matters.
Unsolved mysteries.
It shouldn't be a mystery. It's Manchester United beating them at Old Trafford. We're here for the preview. We're going to be looking through Manchester United and their chances in the Europa League. What are your thoughts on this game? Because Omonia at home is arguably, in my lifetime, one of the most, on paper, winnable games I think I've ever seen Manchester United play. They are, I think, the 242nd ranked team in the world. Just above, I think, someone like MK Dons.
Right, okay.
And obviously, at home, in Europe, surely, this has to be a win, doesn't it?
You'd think so. And you'd think, unlike over in Cyprus, where we made a little bit hard work of it, this could be a comfortable victory. You certainly would expect that. You know, yes, you have to show any team in Europe a bit of respect. And yes, they did score twice against us. So it's not like...
Do you have to show them respect, Jay?
It's some of the people saying it. But
people like to throw that around.
Yeah, you have to show them respect.
Games. You have to show them respect. There are easy games. And why do we have to show them respect? I mean, obviously, we show them respect to the fact that they're playing at Old Trafford. They could beat us. But other than that, Jay, why?
I mean, it's just something that people say.
You don't show Liverpool respect, and they're
horrible.
You know, as good, if not better than us. You don't show City. You know, you have to show City respect. We don't show City respect.
Should we show them disdain?
I think we should show... I think...
Instead of respect, we're just going to show them disdain.
Do you remember how everyone after Eriksen had his heart issue? And everyone, you know, the whole Brandon Williams thing, they were like, you know, you couldn't go hard on him. And I made the point of saying, no, go harder. Because the last thing I would want if I'd had a heart attack on the pitch is people babying around me. Pussyfooting around me in case I drop dead. I don't want that. Go in harder on me. Make a point of saying, you're one of us again. And Omonia... oh, you know, you've got to show them respect. We've got to be nice to them. No, say they're not very good, but if they beat us, that would be incredible for them. Let's not pretend that they're better than they are. United have to beat them. And I think it shows actually the utmost respect by being honest about the situation. They are one of the worst teams Manchester United have ever played against. And we have to beat them. And it is inexcusable if we don't. It's as simple as that, Jay.
I mean, I'm struggling to argue with that when you put it like that. You know, they're ranked 242nd.
And that is true respect.
Poor. Do you know what I mean? I think you can still show them a little bit of respect and batter them. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, we showed Southampton some respect when we beat them 9-0. In a way.
But the reason Southampton...
Do you know what I mean? We still showed them some respect. Whatever that may mean.
I'm not saying be disrespectful, but I think there's a neutral line where we treat this situation and this game with the honesty that Omonia would want us to treat it with. None of this, you know, you're trying your best, aren't you? Come all the way from Cyprus. How was the flight? Is it? You're going to have a nice game. You've been to the Trafford Centre. None of that. They're a professional football team. So there's... treating them with respect would be saying, you're not very good, and if we beat you, we're shit. And it's as simple as that for me.
I mean, fair enough. They are pretty poor. They're ranked 242nd for a reason. We should be turning them over. But we've been here before, haven't we, with teams? We have. Do you know what I mean?
By MK Dons.
Like, we've lost to teams, and, you know, was it a few years ago? Was it Cambridge or someone we drew with? I can't remember. There was like, Rochdale went to penalties.
Lots of Middlesbrough.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. It happens where you go, this is, on paper, this is an easy one, and we make hard work of it or lose. So you can't take it for granted. Yes, they expect us to beat them, and it should be relatively easy. But, you know, that's not always the case.
How enamoured are you with this Europa League so far? Because United are sort of trailing behind Sociedad. It's actually quite worth going through, I think, exactly how the next rounds work, because I don't think everyone will know, because it's only a recent development, the way that it works. So basically, if you win the group, you get a bye to the round of 16.
Good.
Straight through, you will play a winner of the people who finish second in the group versus the teams that drop down from the Champions League. So immediately, if you don't finish first, you have an extra game to play, an extra round of games against probably one of the best teams in the competition because they've dropped down from the Champions League.
Right.
I think it's really important that we win this group.
Yeah.
I don't think we can, we'll move on to predicted 11 shortly, but I don't think we can go easy at all on these.
No.
Because, it's a nice time to play youngsters. We're 3 points off Real Sociedad.
Yeah.
And the game that we play to win those points back is in Spain.
Yeah.
A place where we are notoriously awful. So I think we have to go pretty hard against Omonia.
No, I agree. I mean, it's one of those. I think before the last game against them, you said it's a lose-lose because if you beat them 4 or 5-0, people go, "Well, they're crap." So you should be beating them like that. If you don't beat them convincingly, which we didn't, people criticise you, which they did. And if you anything less than a win, again, it's just an embarrassment. So yeah, I think. Listen, at home, you'd expect us to turn them over. They haven't got anyone who gets remotely near our team. And we've just coming off the back of a good result as well at Goodison. We've got a squad. We can rotate. I know we're going to get to predicted 11s in a minute. We can rotate. It's not like we haven't got the players where you can, sort of change things up a little bit. And I think the options we've got available and the fact we've had a little bit of a wake-up call against them where you go, hang on, it's not all plain sailing here. Yeah. This is a team that's capable of scoring goals against us and capable of embarrassing us if we don't take this seriously. That might help us because that might be in the players' minds where they think, do you know what? We almost came unstuck in Cyprus. Let's get at them. Let's give them a good hiding and just move on. And yeah, hopefully, like you say, avoid an extra couple of games in the in the Europa League.
Yeah, and I think it ought to be as well. A wake-up call because that was embarrassing.
Yeah,
conceding 2 goals against them was embarrassing. One was they both came from mistakes. One was a mixture of Sancho and Malacia. The other one was Victor Lindelof at the start of the second half. But that's what I mean by showing them respect. We almost dropped points against them, and that was awful.
Yeah.
And they're obviously capable of scoring goals against us. So hopefully, like you said, that will be that extra impetus that United need to say, we need to play at 100% here because otherwise, if we drop more points, we are definitely finishing second in this group at best.
Yeah.
So we have to win this.
It becomes a drama, doesn't it, when you don't need one?
No, exactly.
This, Sociedad are a decent team, but come on, we should be top in this group.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on to predicted 11s then. I'll let you go first. You talked about rotation there. Bring your team up here. It is a rotated team, but you go through that team and it's still a very, very good one. There's multiple changes from last week. However, almost all of those players could be considered first-team players. Yeah,
I just feel like obviously we've got a game against Newcastle coming up the weekend, which is, the more important game, I'd say.
Yeah.
We've had a tough game at Goodison. I think we have got options. It's not like you're bringing in a load of kids if he goes with a team that I expect him to. Malacia has been in the team for most of the season. Obviously had a bit of a stinker in Cyprus, coming off the back of a stinker at the Etihad. So Luke Shaw's coming back in. I just feel that he might bring him back in for this because Shaw's going to start against Newcastle. Martinez, I feel like he's his guy, so he'll start him. Lindelof, I know he made a mistake in Cyprus, but I think he's capable of playing against Omonia. And also, Varane, I think we'll probably end up playing against Newcastle, and I'm a bit wary of playing him twice in 3 days or 4 days, whatever it is.
Especially on the comeback from an injury.
Yeah, he's not 100%, is he? So I'd rest him. Wan-Bissaka, Delo's played a lot of football. I was touch and go with this because I do think Delo can play both games, but I was just wondering whether you might think, you know what, Wan-Bissaka needs games. Delo's played a lot of football, looks a little bit off the pace at Goodison. Yeah. Maybe he could do with a breather. McTominay comes in, he's suspended for the Newcastle game. Complete no-brainer for me, this. Get him in. He needs game time. He'll get it, and he can do a job against Omonia. Fred, me and you were talking the other day, you're saying about Fred's not had much of a chance this season. This is the ideal game for him to come into.
Is there? Do you think there might be a... Again, not that this will necessarily affect Ten Hag's thinking, but a bit of a backlash of people going, why are we playing 2 CDMs?
I mean, the way you've got that set up, I think Fred's more of an 8 in that. I think it's more McTominay as a CDM and Eriksen pretty much a 10.
Yeah.
Although, again, you know, Fred can drop deep, Eriksen can drop deep, McTominay can push on. I don't think this is going to be a very regimented midfield where you go, you've got to sit in front of the defence because, you know, Omonia will overrun us. If we're having a lot of the ball, we'll expect all the midfield to be getting forward. I've gone with Jadon Sancho on the left. I think he needs some game time. And didn't really do a lot, did he, in Cyprus? It was a pretty poor performance for him. I think he needs to start or not start, because he's had some good games this season, but get into that routine of playing well when he plays for Manchester United rather than this sort of one game on, one game off almost in terms of performances. So hopefully he can put Cyprus behind him and get at Omonia. Marcus Rashford, I've got him down the middle. I just feel with Martial's injury worries, the likelihood is for me that Cristiano Ronaldo starts against Newcastle, and I just feel he might need a bit of a breather. I just feel that almost. I mean, he played 60 minutes, didn't he, against Everton? To play against Omonia and then play against Newcastle might be a bit of a stretch. I think Marcus Rashford can play all those games.
Yeah.
And Erik ten Hag has played him down the middle this season, and he's done well. So I haven't got any qualms about that. And Antony, again, it feels he's a little bit like Martinez, Antony, and Eriksen to a certain degree, that he's one of Erik ten Hag's guys. Erik ten Hag seems to like playing him regardless of the opposition. So I think he'll put him in, because I think there's enough. I mean, they're all technically first teamers, aren't they, really? Do you know what I mean? But there's enough players there who would start if you had everyone available and it was a cup final. And there's also a little bit of a fringe element to it. So it's a bit of balance, basically, is what I'm getting at. There's a balance there where it's not the strongest team you can possibly pick, but it's a strong enough team to hopefully give Omonia a good idea.
Yeah, I think I've gone slightly stronger, I would say. Or certainly more players that you would expect to start in a Premier League game. So I've gone De Gea. Dalot, I think, keeps his place. It just doesn't seem to be remotely interested in seeing Wan-Bissaka play, does he? So
that's a point. You might be right
fit, I expect him to play. Again, Maguire's still out. Varane probably coming back from injury still. So I think we'll see Lindelof and Martinez again, and then Luke Shaw again. I just think, like I said before, this game is more winnable than it seems. Not more winnable, more must win than it seems.
Yeah,
because we need to finish top of this group. If it's an extra 2 games to the schedule. It's against one of the more difficult teams in the Europa League. I don't want to be in that knockout playoff Champions League drop down round. Then I've gone McTominay again. Casemiro will play at the weekend, I think, because McTominay is suspended. So I've gone McTominay, and I've kept basically. Other than Marcus Rashford, I think what is now the first choice front 5, which is Fernandes, Eriksen, Antony, Ronaldo, and Sancho. I think Rashford will be given a rest. He seems to be the one that gets rested more often of the front players when there's a chance to rotate. I don't know if that's a fitness thing or if he's still got some small injuries, or I don't know what's going on with that, but he was the one that got dropped or rested against Sociedad, I think it was, and he's the one that seems to be sort of rotated more often. So I've gone with that. I think he'll play a strong team, and I think we'll need a strong team as well, because Omonia are a good team, and as we saw last time, if we mess about at all, they'll score goals against us, and we've not been particularly free-flowing in front of goal this season. So if they get another 2 goals, there's a decent chance we don't beat them.
Yeah.
We have to play well, and we have to get the victory. Moving on to Omonia then. Yeah. Having a look at them.
Yeah, I mean, they've won 2 of the last 5, losing the other 3. We saw what they're capable of.
Were you surprised?
That they got a couple of goals?
Yeah,
I was. I thought that after the first 20 minutes, whatever, we're all over him, you think this is just going to be a bit of a walk in the park, and then they get that goal, and then later on they make a bit of a game of it with another goal as well. When it was 3-1, they brought it back to 3-2, and that is a little bit embarrassing. You're going, come on, we should be battering this lot. You never heard of half their players or heard of any of their players, to be honest with you. I mean, the most famous name they've got associated with him is Neil Lennon, and no disrespect to him, I know he won 5 Scottish Premier League titles, whatever it was, but he's not exactly a managerial genius who you'd expect to be able to take a Cypriot minnows team and batter you. No. So, yeah, it was a little bit embarrassing. But, listen, let's not kid ourselves. You said it earlier. This team, we should be beating comfortably.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be that packed at Old Trafford. I think there's probably going to be about maybe 40,000 odd 50,000 there, because it is, it's probably the least attractive European game you could get.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's the Europa League, a group game against a Cypriot minnows team or whatever. How many people are going to... I mean, I'll be there, but I don't expect Old Trafford to be packed. So it's going to be... it might be one of those games where it's, it's almost like a friendly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It has that sort of testimonial feel to it, in the sense that, it's not that busy. You're playing a team that's almost there to make up the numbers, and the game reflects that. We've had those games in the past, haven't we, in Europe? So hopefully we can just make easy work of it, get a result, and move on from this game and eventually this competition, to be honest with you, because I'm sick of the sight of the Europa.
Score prediction?
I'll go... I feel like it might be one of them, like 2-0. You know, when it's 2-0 and you go, that's the most forgettable game ever. I mean, part of me thinks like, just take it. Just get a win. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's just not have any drama.
Any win's all right, innit?
Yeah, I just don't want to be sort of, having to making excuses because we drew with Omonia.
No. I'm going to go 5-0. I think we'll batter them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think, realistically, if you sort of replayed that game last week, and replayed all the chances and those same players had those same chances over again, if you did that 10 times, I think we would win most of those games 5 or 6-1.
Yeah.
I think we had Ronaldo missing from a yard out. Who was it? Rashford, who didn't
square the
ball. We had
Anthony could have scored.
We should have scored 5 or 6 easily.
Yeah.
And Omonia, they did well to get their goals, and maybe they would have got them again. But I think that game was genuinely a 5 or 6-1 game, and he said it ended up 3-2. And I think we'll have even more behind us this time. I think being at home will help with Manchester United, obviously. I think we'll batter them, to be honest.
Yeah, okay.
So, 5-0 I'm going to go. I don't see them scoring either. So,
make sure you guys get involved in the comments in the chat as well and let us know what you think the score prediction will be.
Yeah, give us your score predictions. Give us your predicted 11s as well. Do you think we're going to see rotation? Solskjaer didn't really do it. Ten Hag isn't really doing it. It seems like managers are taking this competition seriously now for Man United, doesn't it? Because it's almost like in the past we were too big for it, so who cared? Whereas now it's like, no, this
is our best chance of Champions League football, I think.
Yeah.
Winning this. I know it's not easy.
You've got a better chance of winning the Europa League than finishing top 4?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
I just feel like the top 4 this season, Spurs looking good for it. Arsenal finally got their act together. I know it's early days and it can all implode.
Yeah.
City have got one of the places, forget that.
Yeah.
And Chelsea you'd expect to be thereabouts. It's hard, isn't it?
And then Liverpool, if they
Liverpool are out of the game at the minute.
They could still win 15
when the
games in a row.
Asthma medicine kicks in, they'll get their act together. So I just feel like this could be the best route to Champions League football next season. And let's face facts: if we win the Europa League and get into the Champions League that way, that's a good season now. Winning silverware in Europe and Champions League football next season, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, me too. That'd be a decent year. Right, that's going to be all from us. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. And like we said, leave your score predictions and your predicted 11s in the comments below. Thank you, Jay, for sparing your time for this video. Thank you for watching at home, and we'll see you in a bit.